Before I start this video, I just want to say I'm going to be talking about my experience with grooming a lot during this video. As someone who is a victim of guys like Vampdaddyevil, I feel like it's my duty to share what happened to me, just to be living proof that guys like Vampdaddyevil have detrimental effects to teenage girls online. I also want to start this video off by saying Vampdaddyevil isn't a he is an ephebophile.
The reason why I want to make this clear is because Vampdaddyevil preys on specifically teenagers who are freshly of 18, which although is legal, and is not technically pedophilia, he is attracted to teenagers, obviously. A pedophile is an adult who is attracted to prepubescent children, whilst an ephebophile is an adult who is attracted to teenagers, which can include teenagers from the age of 18 to 19.
All of his reposts about DDLG and age play and wanting a little girl that he can dress up, that is targeted towards teenagers. And the fact that he was lusting after a teenage girl up until she turned 18 and brought her fansly as soon as she turned 18 drives my point that he is not a pedophile, no. He is an ephebophile. And as somebody who has experienced grooming on the internet, these men telling these teenage girls that they're so mature for their age, these are ephebophiles. And I also want to get a point across that people who make content like Belle Delphine and things like this, wearing the braces, the pigtails, things like that, that is doing so much harm. And whatever way you want to try and flip it and say, oh, anybody can wear this, anybody can wear that. No. Everybody like Belle Delphine, everybody who makes content along the lines of this, what I'm putting up across the screen, is doing so much harm to teenage girls online because you know what you're doing. You're trying to embody a teenage girl for men who are ephebophiles online. This is why teen is one of the biggest porn categories, even if they aren't actually a teenager. You're trying to embody being a teenager for men online who are attracted to teenage girls. With those points out of the way, let's go to my normal intro. Hello everyone, it's Milky Cat here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Vampdaddyevil again, but I'm not going to be referring to him as that in this video because that's just gross. His real name is Eric. In these past few days, a lot more information about Eric has come to my attention, and as per usual, everything is just disgusting and horrendous. I do have to say, I have seen videos about him come across my timeline more, and I really hope that my video did bring more attention to this guy, mainly because I want everybody on the internet to know that this guy is disgusting and is a monster. I don't want people to defend him by saying everything that he's posting is satire or rage bait. No, I want you to keep in mind that everything he posts is 100% serious. He can claim that he's rage baiting until the cows come home, but you know at the end of the day, it comes to a point where you are serious about what you're posting. And the fact that he got with a freshly 18-year-old girl that he had been lusting after before she was even 18 really does prove my point that he is 100% serious about everything that he says online. If you don't know who Eric, aka Vampdaddyevil is, I do suggest watching my previous video that I made about him, because there's a lot of lore and stuff like that inside of that video that I'm not going to be touching on in this video because I already talked about it. But in a nutshell, I believe that he is a 25-year-old man. He may be older, but from what I've seen, he is, or claims to be, 25. He posts these degenerate incel rage baity things on TikTok, just begging for attention. He also posts content about wanting somebody to be his little girl, basically DDLG content, as well as reposting age play content and things along those lines. You can tell that Eric is one of those kind of guys who lurk in corners of the internet where young women and teenage girls are most vulnerable. I'm going to give you a little bit of inside information here as someone who was in this kind of space. As I said before, I'm really not ashamed to talk about what happened to me. I'm really not ashamed to talk about what I did because I already did it. There's nothing I can do to change it, but I did put in the work and I put in the effort to change myself and to stop doing these kinds of things online because they were objectively wrong. So you can cancel me, do whatever you want to, but I'm never going to act like I'm some sort of saint when it comes to this subject, because I'm really not, which is why I have a lot of knowledge about things like this. So I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite, because there are girls that go through this sort of thing every single day online. And in my situation, I didn't have anybody to tell me, hey, what you're doing is wrong and it's going to affect you in the long run, which is why I kept doing it. But anyway, to get into the nitty-gritty, I was a victim of grooming online via the DDLG community. Lots of guys in this space, like Vampdaddyevil, would message me and get me to do explicit things and post explicit images of myself when I was a minor. Because at the time, I was very mentally ill, and I was looking for attention and compliments and money sometimes from these older men, because I loved the attention from older guys, because I felt like it was a privilege to have attention from guys like this, which is why it really triggered me when I saw a TikTok that Eric posted, basically giving a thank you to people online who bullied Ray. And if you don't know who she is, I made a video about her as well, for making her so insecure about herself, so he had it easy to get to her.
Yeah, I did, and I want to give a special shout out to all the people who bullied her and put her self-esteem down to make it easy for me.
It really triggered me and hit close to home for what happened to me when I was a kid, because I was so insecure about myself that I was obsessed with the attention that I would get from these older men online. And some of the things that I posted online still exist to this day and are still being viewed by these types of men to this day, which, as somebody who is an adult right now, is so scary. I don't even like thinking about it. It sends me into a panic whenever I think about it. They were into the fact that I was a teenager doing this sort of thing online, and the fact that they could get me to do this sort of thing online. So if you are a young lady going through this sort of thing, I'm telling you right now, don't do it. It has nothing but negative consequences for you, and the internet is forever. Whatever you post on the internet will be there forever. There's no taking it down, there's no getting it off. It will always exist somewhere, whether it's on the internet or on somebody's jerk-off folder. It will always be there. Which is why I can't stand guys like Vampdaddyevil who prey after young girls who have just turned 18 to take advantage of them for his own personal pleasure. You have to understand, when you turn 18, there's no magical switch that's like, your frontal lobe is developed. No, your frontal lobe doesn't develop until you're 25, which is how old Eric, aka Vampdaddyevil, is. These freshly 18-year-old girls may have little to no rational thinking, especially when they're in a state of mind where they're so insecure, which you have acknowledged, and when they're going through such a big change with their mind and with their body. Like, you're literally turning 18, you're becoming an adult. You're changing. Your rational thinking and things like that are going to be through the damn floor, because you're not going to be thinking. You're just going to be doing whatever you want to do and not thinking twice about it, which is what guys like Vampdaddyevil look for in females. This is what grooming is. And I don't care if you say, oh, they're 18. It's legal. At least he's waiting until they're 18. That's what grooming is. Like, are you serious? Preying on somebody until they turn 18 years old? Isn't that literally the textbook term for grooming? Like, these insecure teenaged girls will get on the internet doing anything for male validation and anything for male attention. And there's always gonna be a guy like Vampdaddyevil waiting in a dark corner for girls like this to come his way. I've experienced this. I know. Take it from somebody who has been groomed ever since they were 14 years old all the way until they were 17 years old. There's a reason why guys like this don't go after grown women, because they're predators. They don't want women. They want children. They want teenage girls. They romanticize grooming. They romanticize pedophilia and call it age play. They romanticize rape and call it free use. They romanticize hitting women, abusing them physically and mentally, and disguise it as being mentally ill daddy dom. And it's absolutely sick. So I suggest that if you have a teenage daughter, keep her off of social media. Keep her away from these spaces as much as possible. Coming from one teenage girl to another, just don't do it. This honestly just reminds me of this song that I used to listen to. It was popular on TikTok around like 2021 or something like that. It's called 17 by by Ladytron, and the lyrics go, "They only want you when you're 17. When you're 21, you're no fun." And those lyrics hit pretty close to home because guys like this don't want an adult woman, they want a teenage girl. These type of guys try to disguise it as being into age play. But at the end of the day, that's really not what it is. You're just an ephebophile, you're attracted to teenage girls, that's why you repost Belle Delphine content, and that's why you've been obsessed with a teenage girl way before she even turned 18. And I'm not even joking right now, I can't stand guys like this on the internet. It boils my blood, and I don't care how many people try to defend you by saying it's legal, it's still wrong. You are an ephebophile. You're attracted to teenaged girls, and teenage, for some of you fucking dumb shits, means from the age of 13 to 19. They're not attracted to these girls because they're hot or they're sexy in a way that you would call a woman. They're attracted to these girls because they think they're hot and they're sexy because they're teenagers. That's why they're attracted to them. This is not a joke. This is what guys like Vampdaddyevil are into. They see teenage girls as innocent, daughter-like, dolly. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Anyways, if you guys liked today's video, please do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. This was a bit of a long one. I know I'm not really used to making longer content. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.